Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Literature with Ariba. In today's video, we are going to begin a very important topic from literary theory and the topic is new criticism. But wait, before we directly jump into the new criticism, I want to take a minute to understand one basic question, that what is literary theory? Now, you can think of it literary theory as a lens, as a sunglasses or any colored glasses. Because when you wear colored glasses, you see the same world differently, right? The same world looks slightly different to you because of the sunglasses. The world hasn't changed. The world that you are seeing through the sunglasses hasn't changed. But because of the color, because of its color, you may see it slightly different. In a similar way, literary theory work as a lens. Different literary theories like feminism, Marxism, or post-colonial, these literary theories make the same text different because the literary text remains always the same, but the different theories help us to look different aspect of the text. Let's understand it with the example. Let's see if we see Hamlet through the feminist lens. Okay, Hamlet, everybody knows Hamlet. इट इज़ द शेक्सपियरियन प्ले. शेक्सपियर का बहुत ही ज़्यादा फेमस प्ले है एक, ये रिवेंज ट्रेजिडी है, ठीक है. और जो है, अगर हम इसको फेमिनिस्ट लेंस के थ्रू देखेंगे, व्हाट वी नोटिस इन दिस प्ले, वी विल फोकस ऑन जेंडर और पेट्रियार्की, है ना, द रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ जेंडर एंड पेट्रियार्की. वी विल फोकस ऑन दिस. बट व्हेन वी look this play through the lens of Marxist, so we will focus on class conflict, economical power and inequality in Hamlet. And similarly, when we look this play through the lens of post-colonialism, we will focus on colonialism, identity, displacement and power relations. And when we look this play or analyze this play through the lens of new criticism, so we will only focus on the text itself because text is autonomous, independent according to new critics, right? So we will focus on language, its structure, its imagery, irony and etc. These features, we will only look that these feature of this text, only focus on these feature of this text and drive the meaning from it, right? Now, I hope that this is clear to you. So, the new criticism or post-colonialism, these are the different lenses through which we see the text and find the different meanings from the text. So, what we are doing here, we are changing the lens, the perspective through which we are seeing the same text, right? This, because the text is the same, but we are seeing the different things in the same text. So this is the literary theory. So I hope you all have a clear understanding of what literary theory is and how it works. Now let's move on to today's topic. So today's topic is new criticism. It is a very important and foundational topic, especially for NET, JRF, SET and any other assistant professor examination. So, new criticism is an Anglo-American literary movement. It is an Anglo-American literary movement which was flourished during the 1930s to 1940s. Right? Anglo-American say means that the critics who are writing in this movement are either from America or Britain. या तो वो इंग्लैंड के थे या फिर वो अमेरिकन थे. Moving forward, this is the list of the new critics belongs to the new, these are the list of the major new critics, and I categorize them in two categories: English critics and American critics. You have to memorize these names for your examination, and we will cover all these critics in our upcoming video lectures very comprehensively their major works, their concept and all. I also add their critic, New Aristotelians, right? This is the major American counter movement to new criticism. Now, moving forward, and let's talk about what is the new criticism. So, new criticism, as it is written here, it is a formalistic approach that it focuses on the form of the text, only focuses on the text, its form, and it says the text is autonomous means independent or self-contained, means text has everything in itself. Text has all the qualities to stand alone. It can alone stand alone, and it is an aesthetic object which is self-contained. According to new critics, to drive the meaning of the text, we should only focus on the text and what is written in it, through which we can drive the meaning of the text. It focuses on the close reading. According to them, we should only focus on the close reading to drive the meaning of any text, to understand any text. We have to, according to new critics, we should only analyze the features like meter if we are talking about poem, right? Poetry की अगर हम बात करें, so we should focus on its meter, its imagery, paradox and irony to drive the meaning of the text, to understand the text. It emphasizes on the close reading. This is the keyword, guys. You have to memorize it, that this is the keyword. Close reading, autonomous, text is self-contained, an ontological approach. These are the keywords for new criticism. And it also rejects the idea of the author's personal biography and intentions. They says that the text can be understood as an independent work without depending on its author's life, author's intentions or historical background for its meaning. That's why they reject all of these ideas. They reject all of these. They say that the text is autonomous. We have to read it closely to understand the meaning of the text. Clear? So this is the small intro of new criticism. I hope that you understand it well. Now moving forward, moving on to our first critic, and it is I.A. Richards. He is I.A. Richards, who is considered the father of new criticism. Remember this, I.A. Richards, father of new criticism. First, let's review his major works. You will definitely memorize these, as the NET exam frequently asks you to match the key works with their authors and place them in chronological order. So you have to memorize it, okay? I have also given the publication dates here. These are the major works: The Meaning of Meaning, which was published in 1923. Principles of Literary Criticism, most important work for your UGC NET JRF exam, 1924 में publish हुआ था. Then Science and Poetry, which was published in 1929. Then Practical Criticism, 1929. It is also important work. It is also most important work. Another work is The Philosophy of Rhetorics, which was published in 1936. I hope you all are understand till now. Everything is easy now. Then moving forward. Let's move on towards the first concept given by him, which is 4 kinds of meaning, which he has noted down in his famous book Practical Criticism, which was published in 1929. Here in this book, in this concept, Richard posited that total meaning is the combination of 4 distinct elements. According to these elements are sense, feeling, tone and intention. Now, let us understand these 4 terms with the help of a very famous poem. So we will take P.B. Shelley's Ozymandias. You all must know this poem. This is the very famous poem by P.B. Shelley, a romantic poet. So first is sense. Sense is what is the poem what is the poem basically saying. Sense is what is the poem basically saying. Yeah, what the speaker want to say. What Shelley is saying in the poem. So in Ozymandias, what we see the remains of huge statue, right? ओzymandias में हम क्या देखते हैं? That there is a huge statue हम देखते हैं, and the inscription which tells us about the king's great power, like great powers, great achievements के बारे में inscriptions देखते हैं हम. But now everything has been destroyed, है ना? This is ruined. Everything is now ruined and destroyed, and nothing remains of his empire. This is the basic sense of the poem. Which poem? Ozymandias. समझ गए? What is the sense? Now second is sense समझ आ गया. Now second is feeling. Feeling is speaker's attitude or emotion which is associated with what is being said. So understand it with the example. What kind of emotion does the poem create in us? When we see that once there is a powerful king, now he has reduced to ruins. Everything is now ruined. Nothing is left. We may feel a sense of irony, right? Because the tone is ironical. We see that this is irony, the sense of irony, sadness, right? That human power is temporary. So this is the feeling. Feeling कैसी है? It's ironical. Now, third is tone. Tone is the speaker's attitude towards the reader or listener. So, what is the speaker's attitude towards the Ozymandias? Means P.B. Shelley का attitude कैसा है Ozymandias में? तो here P.B. Shelley की जो tone है is largely ironical and critical because the king, though his power would last forever, but the ruined statue shows us exactly the opposite. So the tone here is ironical. P.B. Shelley is ironical in this poem, right? You understand the tone? Now finally, intention. Intention is what is the purpose of Shelley? है ना? By writing the Ozymandias, what is the purpose of Shelley? What is its conscious or unconscious aim? So what does Shelley want to communicate through the poem? So he wants to show us that power, pride and human achievements all are. That this power and pride, everything is temporary, right? This is he want to say us. And that even the greatest rulers cannot escape the passage of time. This is the poet's intention. Easy? So remember these four terms like this. Sense, what is being said. Sense is what is being said. Second, feeling is speaker's attitude or emotion which is associated what is being said, right? Third is speaker's attitude towards the listener. What is the speaker's attitude towards the listener? And this is the what is the emotion that he want to create. Right? And finally, intention. What does the poet want to communicate or achieve? What is the purpose of the poet? I hope this example has made the four terms much clearer now. So let's move on. Our next concept, which is also very important concept given by I.A. Richards. So it is tenor and vehicle. So tenor and vehicle, in tenor and vehicle, I.A. Richards is redefining metaphor. What I.A. Richards is doing, he is redefining the metaphor. And according to I.A. Richards, there are, as a metaphor क्या, it is interaction between the two parts. Like, or what are the two parts? Tenor and vehicle. अकॉर्डिंग टू आई रिचर्ड्स, व्हीकल क्या करता है? इट कैरी द इमेज, अ फिगर और द वर्ड यूज टू कन्वे दैट आइडिया। व्हीकल देखो क्या करता है, हमें कैरी कर करके कहीं कहीं लेकर जा रहा होता है ना, बाइक, साइकिल एक्सेट्रा, उससे याद रखो। इसी तरह व्हीकल कैरी द इमेज, द फिगर और द वर्ड यूज टू कन्वे द मेन आइडिया। एंड टीनर क्या होता है? इट इज़ द अंडरलाइन सब्जेक्ट या फिर द प्रिंसिपल आइडिया जिसको वो इमेज कैरी कर रही है। इट इज़ द टीनर। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, टाइम इज अ थीफ, हियर टीनर इज टाइम, है ना। मेन आइडिया क्या है? टाइम। एंड व्हीकल क्या है? थीफ। थीफ के थ्रू हमें समझाने की कोशिश की जा रही है कि टाइम इज अ थीफ, बिकॉज जस्ट लाइक थीफ, टाइम ऑल्सो स्टील आर यूथ, आर मोमेंट्स without our permission, just like thief, right? And also one more example, very आपको समझ आएगा। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लव इज़ लाइक अ रेड रेड रोज, है ना, बर्न्स की बहुत फेमस लाइन है ये, लव इज़ लाइक अ रेड रेड रोज। तो यहाँ पर लव क्या है और रोज क्या है? तो रोज तो क्या है? एक इमेज है, ठीक है। और ये क्या है? लव। लव वो आइडिया है विच बर्न्स वांट टू कन्वे, है ना। अब लव, रोज कैसा होता है? रोज इज प्रिटी, राइट, डेलिकेट, जस्ट लाइक द लव, खूबसूरत होता है, डेलिकेट होता है। तो लव इज द आइडिया विच बर्न्स वांट टू कन्वे इन द लाइन दैट लव इज लाइक अ रेड रेड रोज, ठीक है। नाउ नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट, इट इज द टू यूजेस ऑफ लैंग्वेज। अकॉर्डिंग टू आई रिचर्ड्स, देयर आर टू यूजेस ऑफ लैंग्वेज, है ना। लैंग्वेज को यूज़ कर दो तरह से हम यूज़ कर सकते हैं लैंग्वेज को। दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इज गिवन बाय हिम इन हिज फेमस वर्क प्रिंसिपल ऑफ लिटरेरी क्रिटिसिज्म विच वॉज पब्लिश्ड इन 1924। आप ये भी याद रखेंगे, बहुत ही अच्छा रहेगा आपके नेट और जीआरएफ के लिए। ओके, अब है फर्स्ट रिफरेंशियल और साइंटिफिक लैंग्वेज, एंड सेकेंड होती है हमारी इमोटिव लैंग्वेज। रिफरेंशियल और साइंटिफिक, सेकेंड इज इमोटिव। So according to I. Richard, we use language to deliver facts. Referential or scientific language is used to make factual assertions. For example, the earth revolves around the sun, है ना। The language that we use in the real world, right? It refers real world and to make a statement. This language is the scientific language. And second is emotive language. So according to I. Richard, it is used in poetry. Means emotive language is the poetic language. Emotive language used in poetry to evoke the emotions, to evoke the feeling and attitudes. It is used in poetry. Okay, two uses of language. First is scientific language, which is used to make the factual assertions like Rahul is a good boy, we are going to school, the earth revolves around the sun. This is very simple, plain, which we use in real world, and the emotive language used in poetry. You know, poetic language is different from the real world language. Fourth, and the most important, practical criticism method. It is the famous experiment of the poems with the student of Cambridge University, which I. Richard detailed in his famous book Practical Criticism in 1929. It is an experiment where students were given the poems and they have to evaluate them without knowing the author of the poem, title of the poem, and the period also. He did this to train the students in objective close reading. What I. Richards want to do to train the students in the objective close reading, which is the main feature of the new criticism, to analyze any text. Objective close reading, free from the biography, historical and cultural biases. And after this experiment, I. Richards was astonished by the poor quality of students' stock responses. You know, understand it. He was very, very astonished by the poor quality of students' stock responses, and it is the very old PYQ of UGC NET. You know, what is stock responses? स्टॉक रिस्पॉन्सेज क्या होता है? तो स्टॉक रिस्पॉन्सेज इज द हैबिचुअल और ऑटोमेटिक अनक्रिटिकल वो होता है रिएक्शन, विच वॉज ड्रिवन बाय द रीडर्स बाय देयर प्री एग्जिस्टिंग बिलीव्स, है ना, एक सब्जेक्टिव जो उनका कॉन्सेप्ट बना हुआ है, बिलीव बना हुआ है, उसके थ्रू किसी भी चीज़ का, किसी पोएम का, राइटिंग का मीनिंग ड्राइव कर लेना. इट इज़ द स्टॉक रिस्पॉन्सेज. और इमोशनल बेसिस पर कोई भी मीनिंग ड्राइव कर लेना आर स्टॉक रिस्पॉन्सेज, राइट. अब क्या हुआ, तो उन्होंने ये ही वांट टू ट्रेन द स्टूडेंट्स इन ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लोज रीडिंग विच वॉज फ्री फ्रॉम बायोग्राफिकल, हिस्टोरिकल और कल्चरल बायसेस, विच इज़ द मेन फीचर ऑफ द न्यू क्रिटिसिज्म, दैट वी हैव टू ड्राइव द मीनिंग और अंडरस्टैंड द टेक्स्ट. वी शुड ओनली focus on the text itself, not the biography or historical or cultural biases और कल्चरल बैकग्राउंड को हमें छोड़ देना चाहिए. वी शुड ओनली फोकस ऑन द टेक्स्ट इटसेल्फ. So that's all for today's topic. I hope this video helped you understand the concept clearly and made your preparation a little easier. If you found this video helpful, do like the video, share it with your fellow aspirants and subscribe to the channel. For more videos on English literature, UGC NET, SET and Assistant Professor Examination. Okay, till then keep learning, keep revising and I'll see you in the next video.